Yes. So I will share my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes. So today's I tried to narrow down the presentation based on the feedback we received. I think to give more time for questions and suggestion as we are running this program. So we talk about 4 things which I think are very important to talk about: competitivity, timing and platforms, and building relationship and expectations. And final remarks. So myself, my name is Luis. I came to Korea 2013, but I did my master's in Uganda, where Jean Bosco is coming from, Uganda Christian University. So I did a PhD in applied cryptography, and now I'm the director of the Cybersecurity and Internet of Things Lab. I was also a visiting scholar with Thomson Rivers University in Canada and Georgia Southern University in the US. And I also did a postdoc for 1 year from Sun National University. My research is on 2 main things. I'm working on digital currently. Now in research, we have, as professors, we're not very stable with research. Wherever the government is taking money, sometimes we are going. So currently I'm working on digital twins. Very interesting these days because digital twins means they want to control everything in a digital way. It means if I have an equipment here, I can control my home, control the fridge, control the doors. So we're trying to make a twin of physical infrastructures. That's what we call digital twin. So since I did applied cryptography, so I work in the secure communication about digital twin. I work for secure communication about driverless the vehicles here without drivers, what we call V2X security, and also with drones, UAV, unmanned area vehicles. So this is also my research. All my research is about security, and also about one M2M is a consortium of several companies and several universities worldwide. So basically here we are suggesting some protocols for secure communication. This is about IoT. I think it might not be interesting for you since you are not in computer engineering. But the last one, plant disease detection. This one is not funded by the government of Korea because it's not a big deal for Korea, but I'm doing it as my side research, trying to improve for my country. So we're looking on how we can use machine learning for plant disease detection. So I also work as an academic consultant from many universities in India and Jamaica. And I have published more than 100 ACI papers, and combining all the funding I've received to do research with my co-supervisors and see when I was student, it's more than 1 million USD. So this is basically my introduction. And did I forget anything in the introduction? I think no. Let's go then. Then we go to the next one of the mentorship program. So a little bit background about WARESA. WARESA is have several programs. When we have the first programs are for international students, African international students. And the next programs are helping for our African countries, African universities. So within the African international student, that's where we have the PMP. Because we are a number of PhD holders in WARESA. And we have, myself, I've been an international student, of course, in Uganda, also in Korea. But we have seen several problems that international students face. So we want to support them and share our experience and tell them what we can do. So with Dr. Noah and Dr. Notando, with others, we came up with 12 lectures. This is the 4th one, so you can watch the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd on YouTube. And we think we think by everyone who finished the 12 lectures, we think probably the person will have something that can support his academic or professional career. So we have this one master. We have I think I brought understanding job search, and we have the next one next month. So these are the objectives for those who are doing academia. We want to support them as they write a very good thesis or do a publication that will help them to get their next job. And also we want to give some advices on how they can enhance their professional skills for those who want to go for maybe industry or something which are not 100% academia. And also to help them to have some targeted certification guidance, which means that, for example, even if you go for academia or you go for industry, sometimes you might need to top up your research or what you know through certificate, so that you can, because we think in WARESA, with these 12 programs, we think Africa is having a lot of problems, which I will not explain here. But we think, especially here in Korea, in Japan, in Taiwan, these are some of the recent countries that were developed in the recent years. If you look at the emphasis they put on their skilled diaspora. So we want to make sure African international students are very empowered, very skilled, and they have everything they need, because the trend which we have, the trend which we are looking now, which we are having now for African international student, there's no way you can support back Africa when you're also struggling where you are. So that's why we're saying that sometimes you need to, there are those who need certificate to put more certificate on their degrees. So we try to give them guidance, and also networking and collaborations. These are the main objectives of WARESA PMP. And so for those in WARESA, for those in PMP, before they graduate, we want to have them publish a Q2 journals, develop advanced research writing and some analytical skills, and get some certification, as I said, and build a strong network. So today's this is the program overview, the PMP program overview. For 12 months, this is the 4th lecture. We go with the 5th next month. So then I'm coming on today's lecture, which is mastering job search and strategies. I think before you master the job search and strategy, you have to know what is happening. We are very, very many. So they said around 6 million, 6.9 million students, they go to study in different universities. And in these students, we have very competitive students like Chinese, like Pakistanis, like Indians. All these people, as they go to study abroad, they are looking for opportunities after graduation. So you need to know that it's very, very competitive. When I look at the statistic in Korea, of course, African in Korea, there are very few. I think we are 1% to around 181 international students. We are very few. But if I look in South Korea, I want to say the truth. Let me say what I know. Maybe I will come to that later. Let me go to this slide here. Okay, so I think you can see this slide here. So if you look here, you can see the developed countries here. These are our targeting WARESA. The developed countries, this way the developed countries and those in transition, of course, also the one in less developed. So these are developed economies, as you can see. So personally, in America, in Canada, in Australia, in US, I know many PhD holders who are doing some small jobs, not because they are not intelligent, but because they lack a platform where they can know what is happening. That's why I was coming with this. It's very, very competitive. It's very, very competitive. Yes, it's very, very competitive. So we have, especially when we look at some of us in Asia, we have some issues like the language, the culture. And of course, I do even understand our skin also is it's black. It's a black skin. I'm not complaining that if we are 5 candidates and I'm the only black and we have the same chances, I will not complain that they take the one which has a yellow or a white skin. I'm not complaining about that. What we have been telling in WARESA is, I don't know if some of the people in WARESA have joined some undergraduate. We tell them what will make your application outstanding. Yes. So here I'm talking about, so I'm giving here the details here. Chinese, India, Vietnam, Nigeria, Syria, Nepal. We are so many looking opportunities after graduation in these developed countries. So what will make your application outstanding? That's what we want to talk about. Yes. So we have Yusuf from Nigeria. I hope he will get a scholarship very soon. But as you come also, I have so many Nigerian friends, PhD. Let me give a story. Let me give one story. When I came to Korea, there was one Nigerian friend who was saying, oh, he was like, he had just finished 2 years. He was doing a PhD. He was like, oh, I want to graduate very soon. So I just arrived like 6 months. I said, my thesis is almost ready. The professor said I should stay long. And the guy was complaining. He was like, why the professor want me to stay long? My thesis is already almost ready. I have experience. He was like, oh, you know, he was like, just because I'm here in South Korea, otherwise in Nigeria, I would be, you know, I'll be a very big person in academia. I have worked for the university. So I was like, maybe I should also start complaining for my supervisor, because if this guy's complaining, you know, when you're doing a PhD or when you're a student, you want to leave early, you want to finish early. But then later on, when he graduated, actually he graduated after 2 years and a half. For the last 10 years, he could not get a good job. So I will come to the job he's doing now. And if I look, sincerely, if I look, he was not qualified to get a good job after graduation because he didn't know what was the requirement to get a good job after graduation. So I was giving that story to know that some international African students, they don't know the requirement which is needed for them to get a job where they are. So this is very competitive. And here I was saying, we have different types of international students. Here I wrote down, unless it is urgent, I prefer that we work and stay in advanced economy for some years. I'm not saying that we want to stay here. Actually, whenever I go for a meeting, people, they always look at me. They always throw a question at me. They say, we need to talk to those Africans who need to have their countries, but they have not gone back. So that question is always looking at me. I'm like, these people, they are complaining that I did not go back to Burundi. But the reality is different. I think, I'm not talking about why I'm not in Burundi for now, but I'll say it's good we in these advanced economies, we stay a little bit to gain experience because we need to work and get the skills and then go back. So, and if I put this slide here, is because maybe later on you will see. Do not put yourself as an international student. Do not rush. I'm not saying that I said unless it is urgent. Unless it is urgent, there are some countries who have good policies to contact their international student, to tell them this is an opportunity, come back. Unless you have such opportunities, please stay behind to gain experience. And also, I want to tell you from experience also, sometimes here in Korea, let me give my experience. To get a job, I did not contact anyone. I just applied. But I know many Africans who complain that, oh, I went back with my PhD. Now I need to go to see the head of the political party. I need to go to see the anchor, the minister. And you see, you find there are some concepts which we do not have in developed countries. So that's why it's good to that's my recommendation. Stay for a few years. And number two, I will give us another thing. If possible, secure a permanent residency in a developed country. I will come to that later. Because in case something happens in case you want to move back, in case, you know, you can just have a second backup. Yes, that's just my advice. If possible, you secure a passport, okay, so that you can, you know, all these economies, developed economies, once you have their passport, you can move freely. So I will skip this. So we come then with the change of plan. So this is what you're supposed to do. This is actually what I want to talk about here today. If you finish as an international student, you might go with what we call a blue collar job. This is a manual labor, trade. Okay, there's what they call a white collar, a pink collar, a green collar, and a gold collar. So we have seen, I was telling you, in these developed countries, I know many PhD holders doing the blue collar job. This is a manual trade, okay? I'm not saying that it's a bad job. I'm the view that you need to do this job as you plan for your next job. Because the blue collar job, as you age, they don't need you again. They, you know, as you grow old, they no longer need you. So we have seen in our experience here, there are many international students who come, and there are others who are fake international students from Africa with fake documents. And this one, they are the one influencing people that, oh, you don't need to, what you need, you just have to get a blue collar job. Any job is okay. So this first one has made international students not successful. You make friends, you are with friends who do not tell you that you can make it where you are, or you can get some better opportunities. That's why you will see some countries have many refugee claims. For instance, Canada. Yes. So number two cause of what is happening is the pressure of remittance. Actually, we're writing a book here. African international students who have an opportunity to make money. I'm not saying that they over make money, but they have failed to balance the time to make money and the time to study. I told you I have many PhD holders who are still doing the blue collar job. When you were a master student, you are doing blue collar job. I put, let me go to the picture of blue collar job so that you will see what it is. It is here. You see, this is the blue collar job. If you don't know, it is here. So I know PhD holders who did this when they were undergraduates, did this when they were masters as part-time, did this when they were doing PhD, and still now after graduation, 10 years. This is, I was explaining here. So pressure, one of the consequences is, I'm just putting this, people, they want to send money back home. Please, as an international student, do the balance on how much you can work and how much you need to invest. Because I'm going back again, your next step is very competitive. They will not hire you. You know, people, they apply for jobs and they ask them, you ask someone, why do you think that we consider you? They say, Allahu Akbar. What do you mean by Allahu Akbar? Oh, God is good, he will help me. I know, yes, God is good. Some people, they say, Jesus will help me, based on where they're coming from. Yes, God is great, God is good. But what makes you, for instance, there are two candidates here who are applying jobs from South Korea to Australia, master undergraduate student. I told them, that's application for masters. They will have more than 5,000 people. What will make your application outstanding? So you should, those who are international students already, please do the balance between remittance, how much money you need to make for sending home. Because I've seen in many countries, people, when they have opportunities, they overmake money and they forget that they need to study. And also there's a lack of guidance, which WARESA PMP is doing. Some people really, they did not get a guidance. Yes, people didn't have a guidance on how to proceed. So the next one is the refugee claim. So when all these things fail, you find people, they cannot get a good job after graduation, they become refugees. And even some African companies, they are just advertising it. You know, in Korea, when I came 2013, there was no student becoming refugees. Today, I don't know, but we're still waiting for the data, but 95% or 95 to 99% of people are claiming to be refugees after graduation are from Africa. Why they did not are African? Why they did not get good opportunities after graduation? They didn't plan ahead. So let me then go to the next point, is the timing and the platforms. As an international student, which platform are you using? That's why in WARESA PMP, we have a lecture about platform, which was last time, building your professional online presence, which was given by Notando. Because you need to hear, you need to understand, if I'm hiring a student, maybe let me also say this, I've hired few African students, and now as an African, and people know how I am interested in supporting Africa. Now I'm no longer hiring an African student, because the last time I hired them, they were not competitive. I'm not saying all of them, but so when I hire a student, I look at their LinkedIn profile. Okay, there are some, there's something that these days you need to check. So I've come with a number of, I cannot explain all of them, but these are the platform where you need to subscribe. This is the platform where you need to visit. For instance, me on LinkedIn, I have 3,000, around 4,000 connections. Let me tell you another story. Probably, let me repeat again this story. I have helped one guy who has a PhD in chemistry to get a job. So, and they just called me. One day they called me, they say, oh, your friend does not have a job. I said, how come? This is my senior. He has been here for a long time. Can you help him to get a job? No, they said, he doesn't have a job. They said the contract finished. So I called him. I asked him, oh, what is happening? He told me, I've not, the contract finished, but I don't have an opportunity these days. So that day, I checked on my LinkedIn. I took a picture and I sent to him. So there's one guy in computer science who was advertising for a position in chemistry. Do you know that he got that same job? Imagine if he was on LinkedIn, if he had 3,000 connections like me. How do you build connection? You just stay on LinkedIn. You look for professors. I will talk about this later. So there's no way you can get a job where you can get an opportunity when you are not on the platform where the opportunity is being posted. It doesn't work. So you need to know the platform. We have a number of platforms here. We have Indeed for master's, PhD. We have LinkedIn. The difference between the goodness of LinkedIn is because they have profiles over there and you can contact someone. But we have this one. We have Indeed. We have, let me check. I didn't try to put all of them and how they work, but yes. So we have mainly, we have LinkedIn, we have Indeed, we have Glassdoor. Glassdoor also, it gives jobs also for mainly for industry and also for academia, though there are not very many. We have Handshake. Handshake is mainly for people in the US. If you are planning to go to the US, we have My Visa Job. My Visa Job also mainly work for people in the US. They can help. We have goabroad.com. This one also has internship. It has volunteering jobs. Okay. We have Way Up, which also have some internship. We have also some local universities. We have this European job market portal. We have URES. We have Job Bank Canada. We have SEEK, Grad Australia. So in this lecture, I cannot give all the details, but we have the pmp.waresa.org. We have the email. If you have a question on, if you give, we have some volunteers who are helping in WARESA PMP. If you're like, I'm in Finland and I don't know where to look, how to get the job, not how to get the job, how to go in which platform. I don't know which platform to go to secure, to check for the opportunities. Just you can send an email, and of course we might delay to answer you, but we have some volunteers that can help you. So you need to search. You need to search for those platforms and go on those platforms. So we have many African international students on TikTok and Instagram. The reality is that these two platforms, you see, we need to know the stage where we are. We are very young, it's true. You are very young, it's true, but now you are looking for the next opportunity. And you are not in your home country. Because if you were to be in your home country, maybe you might know an uncle to help you, or maybe you will be on a level where you are very competitive compared to others. But you are here, you are fighting with Chinese, you are fighting with Uzbek, you are fighting with Indian, you are fighting with here in academia. Let me say, we have a Korean here. These days here in academia, we have many Korean graduates. I have a Korean here. We have many Korean graduates coming to look for jobs because Korean PhD holders from US, they apply for many jobs, for professor's job here. Do you know why I came from, see how many SCI I have? When I graduated, I only had 4. I was forced to work hard because if I don't publish papers, I have to leave the job. There's no love here. I'm talking, we have Mr. Jonghwa, who is Korean. I'm not exaggerating, but the contract is very simple. You got the mind to do research, you have to publish. If you don't, you leave. I have seen Africans who left the job they got. They got assistant job. They could not get the requirement for, they get their money to publish. They did not get the requirement. They were kicked out. We signed the contract. They don't love you because you are black. Whether you pray as a Muslim or Christian doesn't work. So I was here. I was like, as international student, you need to know the platform. Please be active on the platform that support. These days, I think there are very few opportunities on Facebook. I think in terms of jobs, I think we have this LinkedIn, Indeed. Try to search for the job because you don't know because if you don't go to the platform, how will you know the requirement? So if you have a question, probably just not to take long. These are the platform, but there are other platforms. Or if you have a question, feel free to contact WARESA PMP. And then that's very important. Once you know the platform, then try to know the mind of the recruiters. Let me give an example. As a professor, all the money I receive here from Korea, even I need to I need to show what they call key performance index, what is KPI. I need to do a publication, which means if you are going to approach a professor, know in his mind that he has a publication in his mind. So whatever, when you approach him, that's why we even, I gave a story. That's why in WARESA, we encourage undergraduate to publish. I went for one conference at Korea University. I just arrived in Korea, I think for 2014. And then that conference, the one who presented before me was an undergraduate student. His research was good. He was perfect. I was the next. I was a PhD candidate. I was ashamed to go next. He was an undergraduate student. He had a very, very good research. I was shocked. So the mindset of professors is that academicians, we need, you know how to use those, you know the skills, whether because I talk about computer engineering, but maybe in other, so if you have the skills, if you can operate some of the softwares, I will talk about maybe MATLAB because I'm a computer engineering. There are several softwares. So if you can do publication. So these days we have a conference next time in Canada, and we have one of the guy in Canada is called Professor Taiwo. He is from Nigeria. He told me he's actually in arts. He said this day, University of Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. He said in social science, before they give you an opportunity, this day they look at documentaries for people in social science. I don't know if, do I have someone in social science here? We have quite many. Yes. If you are, for instance, people doing hospitality, he told me that to get a job in US, the university, if you're doing hospitality and you have recorded few videos, like you are like, oh, the hospitality, I went to, maybe you are in Korea, in Seoul, you go to Busan, I'm going to Busan, I'm looking how the hospitality industry is, I'm taking interview, you know, he said these things are used these days in social science. The video you have recorded. So it's a very good thing to know the mindset. You might ask me, of course, I might answer in computer engineering, but the goodness of WARESA, in WARESA, we have more than 500 PhD holders from Africa in 32 countries. And most of them, they are here in these countries, the blue countries, developed countries. At least you might ask a question and they tell you, for the job of hospitality and hotel management, if I want to get an opportunity there, what is the requirement? This I was saying here, these days, they look at documentaries, social science. SS, I want to say social science. Please, because in the next WARESA America Award, which is happening in Canada, they because of the Professor Taiwo, they said because they look for documentaries, so the people applying for the award in social science, they can show what they have recorded. So you need to know the mindset. I'm talking here, I'm still talking about the mindset. You need to know the mindset for where you are going. If you want to do PhD, if you want to do in academia, you need to know that you are interested by the skills. We are, depending on social science, probably some people are interested by the report or the documentaries, and also publication is very important. And sometimes we are interested by internship experience. Okay, that's why I put the picture here of nature. We academicians, what do I say? We try to shape the solutions. That's why here nature says shaping shifters. We have a policy that you want to use as the government. So as academician, we try to check the policy from the theory to the everything, and we do publication and we do report. So it's good to know the mindset. If you are going for industry, sometimes in industry, you need to know, for instance, the culture. Okay, sometimes you need the internship. I saw here people who are doing. I know some people here. I think some people here who are doing environmental science. Okay, maybe you are looking for an internship in the US. You need to know. Oh, okay, if you're doing an internship in the US, environmental science. What? Because when you look at offer, last time my first lecture was giving every offer you are looking into, there's a clue on the skills you need to acquire, the software they use. So you need to know the what the recruiter are looking for. Maybe sometimes you can need recommendation. For instance, here in Asia, recommendation is very, very important. Not everywhere there's recommendation. Here in Asia mindset, the recommendation is very important because we need to know what happened. For instance, I was talking about hotel management. Maybe did you do any internship? Okay, whether it's free or paid. Also the company culture. There are some companies in Korea that contacted WARESA, and they wanted to bring. There are one company which want to take African who lived in Korea to work in US in Korean companies. I don't know. This is what they told me. I don't know how, but they told us that it's because the companies over there, when they recruit, they are still looking for a Korean culture. So you need to know the mindset of the recruiters because everything is not clear. That's why in WARESA, we give you a platform. If you say you want a job in the US in social science, you can send an email. We can give you the names of 2 professors in social science in the US, and you can ask any question and they will tell you. If you want for industry, so that's how I'm talking. So what is industry? What is relevant for industry experience and in impact in terms of hearing? So you need to know what is important for them. So I'm just giving an overview. I cannot go into details because everyone is coming from a different background, but the mindset, what the recruiters is looking for, it's very, very important. You need to know about that. Then once you know about this, then you go for timing, because all these new skills you will learn here, it's required time. For instance, let me give an example. I'm looking for someone who can use MATLAB. I don't know. MATLAB is a software in information in computer engineering. How long will you take you to learn MATLAB? It might take 6 months. Or you will see, and for instance, for me, if I'm recruiting any person, anyone who has a publication, it's welcome, because everything I receive as project, I need to justify it with publication. So how will you work on a publication? How long do it take? 6 months. So someone who did the internship, how long? So that's why I put here 6 months, 12 months. If you go for industry, same. What you need, it takes time. That's why I always say, before we finish this, for the timing, prepare early. For the first semester as masters, it's time to start preparing. It's time to go into a job advert, depending where you are, job advert, and because you will need time. You will need time to fill up the gap. So all these skills that we did here, it might require 6, 12, or 12 months to work on them. So, but if I ask questions among ourselves here, you will see a number of people who were not able, who have not even applied for any job. And that's why we have so many refugees here. Okay. I will say, maybe I will talk the report later. I will talk about this later. So once you know the platform, know the mindset, and then know the good timing. Let me give a last example. There's one friend of mine from Kenya. He finished PhD, and he asked me to help him apply for the job. And the job was looking for publication. It was here in Korea. I'm not lying. So he said, I told him how to work publication. He did in social science. He don't have any publication. And all the jobs we're getting, the postdoc in Poland, they were looking for publication. So he told me, do you know what? He asked for my schedule. I said, I cannot work on Saturday. Sunday, I'm busy. Saturday, also I'm busy. So can you sacrifice 4 hours from Monday to Friday so that I can guide you on how to do research? So he only did it for 3 weeks. He told me I cannot continue. Why? The boss was almost firing him from the job. He had a wife and a son or a daughter. I cannot remember. So he stopped what he was doing to get the job. Until today, he has not secured any good job. So the time to prepare for the publication, it was easy when he was still a student. So that's why timing is very important. That's why I said, as you are a student now, if you need any question or if you want anything, but this is the time to start looking into job advert. Otherwise, I have few Burundians here. They can be my witness. The report from the head of WARESA in Japan, many PhD holders, they finish in Japan because they don't have job. They apply to study the language, because I think some of them also, they apply to become refugees. Why? All these were just wasting resources because people did not prepare on time. So I was saying, know the platform, get the understand the recruiter's mindset. You can still ask one of the seniors, and then know the good timing to fill up the gap. After this, then you need to build relationship. So for instance, I said very important in LinkedIn. If you see any professor on LinkedIn who is doing what you are doing, as you send an email, a LinkedIn message, try to introduce yourself. Like, oh, professor, thank you very much. I've read your paper. Do you think I can, I'm interested in your paper. I've read, that's why I'm connecting. Full stop. The professor will read about, if you're sending a LinkedIn connection to someone who is your friend, it's okay. But if someone who, can help you tomorrow, just try to customize your invitation. You put, I noticed that you share a number of connections. Just put something inside and be very respectful, as you are building your network. This is the first one. The first one is, once you contact, try to make an introduction and know the interest. In WARESA now we're helping, I was saying that in WARESA we're helping some undergraduate students to get scholarship in Australia after their undergraduate studies. So now some of them, we have sent them a lot of advice in Australia, and now they ask us, how do I know the research orientation of the professor? I said, you need to Google the professor name. Know the professor, go on Google Scholar, know his name, know his research, and at least you have a mind, or you have a clue of what is his research, and then contact him or contact her, depending on how you can contact. This is one. Number two, I have many international students from Japan. Last time they did a Europe tour for 30 days. They are doing vacation, and they never contacted any professor. They never visited any professional agency or whether the UN. I said, you are wasting resources. How do you spend 30 days in Europe? You are taking pictures left and right. You have not gone anywhere to contact a professor, to go to, you need to plan ahead. So you have to customize invitation. You have to do what I call professional vacations. Because here, African international students visit their home country at least once in 4 years. If you go to your home country, I do not even recommend. Rather than going to your home country, unless you are going for some very important thing, just go to Taiwan. If you are in Asia, if possible, go to Paris, and don't go for vacation only. Once you get your visa, what am I doing? I am doing a master's in hospitality or in education. What are the agencies in France that do education? Just Google them. Plan by yourself. Once you finish the pictures at Tour Eiffel, just do a professional vacation. Make contact, because that's your age. It's very competitive. You know, do a professional vacation. So I gave a picture here. I know many African. I was giving an example. They toured all the European countries for 30 days. No certificate to come back. No contact made. No professional agency. They just took pictures. And now their Instagram and their TikTok are full. And then after a few years, you will get report from them that they've applied for refugee status. So this is what is happening with Africa. So you professional vacation, you made some academic visit here. If you need help, if you say I'm going to Paris, do we have that? The goodness of WARESA, we have, of course, it might not be possible, but we have friends in many. Most members in WARESA are from universities. You can visit universities. We also have people from academy. So do some academic visit, courtesy visit. So as you are building professional relationship, you can contact online. Is good. You can also, once you have a chance to go to Taiwan or to Japan, wherever where you are, just try to visit, try to say that you are interested. That's why I said you need to visit the team you want to join, if possible, or make friendship. Also, this is something, exchange studentship and internship in different countries. Why do you apply internship? You can apply for internship. You can try to apply for internship. For instance, in Europe, you never know. Oh, you know, we have here in WARESA, we have tried to support some African students to apply for internship. No, for exchange students, but they do not. The universities, I think, I don't know what happened. For instance, where I'm teaching, there is exchange program for undergraduate students. But African, we only had one African here, I think, so far. She could not get that exchange program. They gave so many reasons. Only Korean can go. Myself, our university have a lot of exchange programs. So that's why I have in my classes, I have taught many foreigners from Europe, from South America. I have taught from Germany, from Paris, from France, from Spain. Okay. We're trying to maybe let me go back. Because of that program, that's why WARESA has put in the EDIPEP. The EDIPEP is Educational Institution Partnership and Exchange Program. We want to raise the voice why some African students here in Korea or other countries are not offered exchange program. So I was here on the internship. So please, when you go somewhere, try to make connection. If you have an opportunity for exchange program, exchange studentship, exchange internship, please. We're trying to do something on that area. But if the university is offering something, we are trying to also negotiate some offers within WARESA. But I don't know, maybe probably next year. But whatever you can do, please do that. So that you can build you can have the relationship and contact. Then this is the three things. Then the last one is what is the next? If you are here and you are an undergraduate student, please start what will make your application outstanding. I told we have few undergraduate students who are applying for positions in Australia. We told them what will make your application outstanding, because you might be 5,000 people for that position, as people they love to go to study in Australia, including Korean. So as an undergraduate, if you have some additional certificate in your field, if you have published an international conference or a domestic conference, okay? If you have built a very good network and you can have some very good recommendation, okay? Try to improve your skills if you're undergraduate student. Otherwise, you will be what here? From graduation to this. You see these two pictures, I know them and I have experienced them. That's why, and I can give you a number of friends. And in developed countries, Canada, US, Australia, and many of them are Africans. Of course, you may have some Indian or Pakistanis or Vietnam, but many of them are Africans. And that's for undergraduate and master students. But if you are a PhD, the one thing I'm adding, because I saw Bosco is here, if you are a PhD, also try to, there's always what they call skilled visa. Many countries, Bosco probably is here, as you are second year of your PhD, you can get some PR, permanent residence in Canada and US, just like a backup. You can apply for, even for people doing masters, there are always opportunities for skilled visa, okay? If this Australia, Canada, US, they offer skilled visa PR. It means you can be in Korea and get a, you see, the question, let me say this thing. The question is, people, they see me, that they say, why am I motivated with this? All these things I'm explaining, I never knew them before I came to work where I'm working. When I was a student in Busan, I had friends as many Africans. There was no one to tell me. I was even thinking to finish and go back to my country, Burundi. When I worked at Busan National University, I didn't have any good friends. I had friends, but did not open my eyes. That's when I moved from Sejong University, from Busan National University. I came where I'm working. We are around 80 professors, 80, almost getting to 100. And I was the only African. First of all, I was shocked because I was the only one who was not a permanent resident. Everyone had a PR. So I asked them, Pakistanis, and I said, how come you have a PR? They said, you don't have a PR? They said, no. I said, you can get your PR when you are a postdoc. I said, really? Then my eyes got open. The building when I was in, then I found out they not only have Korean permanent residency, they also have Australian permanent residency. Then I was shocked. I said, you are here, you are Pakistanis. You have Korean PR. PR means permanent resident. You can live in Korea as long as you want. You also have Australian PR. How did you do it? Have you ever been to Australia? I said, no. Then I said, okay, there's a very big, Africans were the last to get information. So all these things opened to me because I was lucky to get in a group of people who have been there. Of course, I cannot say that we cannot compare a Burundian and a Pakistanis. It's not possible. A Burundian and a Vietnamese, it's not possible because Vietnam or Pakistanis have been international students in the US maybe for the last maybe 40 years, but Burundian maybe only 20. So their eyes have been open for a very long period. So I'm saying beyond the academic, also try to secure permanent residency. I know I have recommended one Ethiopian, now he's in the US, he was a PhD holder. I have recommended one Vietnamese, now he's in the US, he has a PhD, he got a PR, okay? So I also know that there are options for even for master's students to secure a PR or a skilled visa in some of countries, okay? I'm not saying this that I want to discourage people, but it's very tough to secure a very competitive job in Asia. For instance, in Korea and Hong Kong, Taiwan. I'm saying this because I'm getting report. I get report from PhD holders in Taiwan through WARESA. So try to secure all these things. Yes. So I think this is the end of my presentation. So this is the end of my presentation. I think I kept it, yes, for 1 hour. So I will open the room for questions. But as I summarize for this presentation, I didn't put many things. I just give an overview on what you're supposed to do. First of all, know the competitive, how that is very competitive. You are fighting with You are fighting with Chinese, Indian, and please don't do these jobs here. Where are they? We are not praying for you to do the blue collar. Do the blue collar when you are a student. Plan for a gold collar or a white collar job. Okay. Please, as you go for platform, try to know the platform. You learn about the platform, know the recruiter's mindset, and then get enough time to prepare. Then build relationship. Okay. Do not go for any vacation. Go for professional vacation. And then please be ready. Beyond your skills, also, there's options to start looking for PR for different countries. Before you said, this is just a background. I'm not saying this that I want people to stay abroad. I don't want people to go to your home countries. I'm saying this because I want to go to your home countries with many opportunities once you have secured enough opportunities where you are. Yes. So thank you very much for listening to me. I will take time to receive questions and comments, but I think we don't need to record the questions and comment. So I will stop the recording here. Yes. Wait, stop sharing.